Hello, everybody. Welcome to Indie Comics Review. This is the show where every week I review 3 indie comic books. If that is the kind of content that you find interesting, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Also, there's a link below to my Alternative City shop where I sell t-shirts, pins, comic books that I make, and all kinds of other stuff. So let's get started right away with the first book, which is The Lonesome Hunters #1. It is written and illustrated by Tyler Crook and is on the Dark Horse Comics label. An old and out-of-practice monster hunter in hiding crosses paths with a young girl that forces him to confront these chaotic creatures. As the beasts invade their tenement, they set off on a supernatural road trip to stop these ancient evils in a story that explores the ways that youth informs adulthood and how early traumas can haunt us in old age. Lonesome Hunters is probably my favorite book of the week. It's the story of this old man who grew up as a monster hunter. He had this really cruel, and I was going to get to be a monster hunter, you might ask. He had this really demanding father who was just abusive, it seems, and he didn't fulfill his first destiny or his first attempt at hunting a monster. In fact, it failed miserably, and he's in possession of this sword that keeps him immortal. He ages, but he does not die, and he's just become this very bitter old man. So the old man, who's named Howard, he was recruited at an early age by his father, who was very stern and maybe even abusive. And first of all, the first attempt at monster hunting or demon slaying with his sword, which is, by the way, a stolen sword. They don't explain who it's stolen from. There's a stolen sword, and it gives him immortality. And the only way he survived that first encounter was that he held onto the sword through the whole deal. And everyone else, well, they didn't make it, but he was the only one that survived, and he probably has guilt because of that. And he runs into this girl who lives this little girl who lives in his tenement with him, who also is in possession of this stolen artifact, which is a pocket watch. They don't say, but she says that her father probably stole this watch, and she's in possession of it. This is going to play into the story somehow, I'm sure. And her father is also abusive. Her father is this asshole who screams at her all the time and everything. So on that, they immediately have bonded on that basis. What's going to happen going forward? Looks like there's probably going to be an adventure going forward as far as these two people go, and they're going to probably be a very heart-tugging kind of a thing that touches the heart. And I look forward to it. It's Tyler Crook has done some great stuff in the past. They're one of those artists that do everything, which they have a special place in my heart for people who do that. And the Dark Horse comes up with some great stories as far as that goes too. So yeah, I'm gonna stick around for this. This looks like it's off to a good start, and some of the artwork, I mean, all the artwork is great, but there's some pages like this double page spread that just shows all the darkness and grittiness of the city, and Crook just illustrates that so well. So yeah, The Lonesome Hunters #1 on Dark Horse. If you're a fan of indie comics, I do recommend this book. The next book is Fox and Hare #1. It is written by Jonathan Tsui and with art by Stacy Lee, and it is on the Vault Comics label. When black market coder Aurora Yee uncovers top secret data that has tapped into the past lives of the citizens of Mazu Bay, her world is turned upside down. The mega corporation Sinistry Designs wants its data back and is hot on her trail. Aurora has no choice but to turn to the Fox and the Hare, the most feared mercenaries in the city, for protection. So this kid Aurora has stolen this data from this mega corporation who pretty much runs the city, and they're just after her, man. And she's somehow luckily fall into contact with Fox and Hare, who are like the biggest mercenaries in the city. And Fox and Hare have a history as far as them being orphans. They both lost their parents at the same time, and they bonded way back when they were kids. And now, like almost 30 years later, they become these big-time mercenaries that are just fighting the system. It's very cool. I mean, the word cyberpunk was thrown around as far as describing this book. It came out a few weeks ago. I wasn't able to get it until recently when I got my comic shop order. I was really glad to get it. The artwork is really super tight and reminds me of a really well done anime. I love these stories where you get this, the corporation, which is it's just very easy to make them a villain because so many of them are actually evil. And they're running this city, and Fox and Hare are just helping this kid out who when they first meet, they don't first hit it off, but they realize that they have this bond, and they go to meet this other character who's going to help them out at the end. So yeah, it's not, like I said, it's not like groundbreaking material, but it's a fun book to read. And I had no expectations when I picked it up, and it kind of surprised me. So I will probably check out Fox and Hare again. If you're into the cyberpunk style, if you know what that means, because I really don't, but I like it. I absolutely recommend that you pick up Fox and Hare #1 if you haven't already. And so I think #2 should be coming out pretty soon. It's a vault book, so sometimes there are delays with that stuff, or maybe it came out already and I missed it. I'm not sure. But anyway, Fox and Hare #1 is a good read and worth $3.99 if you want to pick that up. So check it out. The next book is The Illusion Witch #1. It is written by Ruben Romero and art by Andrea Errico, and is on the Behemoth Comics label. The Illusion Witch tells the story of Ada Locke, a world-famous illusionist traumatized by the loss of her father and son. She's become cold and disconnected from reality. Transported into Sari, a fantasy world filled with magic and danger, Ada is paired with a talking quoll, a warrior, his son, and a powerful mage. Hunted by the Three, a wraith with monstrous intentions, Ada will face her inner demons while battling real-life monsters in her attempt to save herself and Sari. Like it says, this woman, Ada, has really gone through some terrible personal tragedy in her own life. She's lost her son, she lost her husband, and it's really steeled her into this really cold-hearted person who's really not a good person at this point in her life. And she's going to be confronted with a lot of different things that's going to make those things be tested. I feel like this may be a kind of a story of redemption for Ada. As she is living her life as one of the world's greatest illusionists, she's confronted by this entity, and she's also, unbeknownst to her, being sought out by this talking badger, which here comes a talking badger. I guess that's what the quoll is that they refer to in the description. But this looks like a talking badger who just pops up into this reality and is looking for Ada because it believes that she somehow is going to be able to help him save the world of Sari, which is this fantasy magic-filled universe that has, for one thing, talking badgers. Ada was very close to her father, who taught her pretty much everything she knows about magic and the difference between magic and being an illusionist. And she was close to her son too, but I guess the loss of both of the son and her father just made her into such a cold individual that not much can save her, except maybe this quest that she's about to be sent on with the creatures that the warrior and the other folks that she's going to be going on this quest with. This could be a pretty, I guess, if you're into magic and quests and things like that, this could be a book that I think you would find interesting. Enrico's art is nice. The story is also good by Romero, even though it's, a little cliched, but still, it'd be nice to see how this works out. So I really can't give it a bad grade. I did like it. So yeah, The Illusion Witch, #1 on Behemoth, which I do love Behemoth and all their artsy books that they put out. It'll be worth something you might want to check out. This week's Artist Alley is a book called Diary of the Stray Dogs, The Wounded, and it is written by Nigel Lynch, who is the creator, and also illustrated by Juan Carlos Francisco. And it is from the Beyond Publishing Caribbean comics label. This is the diary of Shani Belcourt. Set in the 22nd century, A world where many things have changed, yet some things stay the same. The pursuit of wealth, health, spirituality, and long life is still the main goal of humanity. Despite its many technological advancements, the world is still plagued with greed, corruption, and a disregard for basic human life. In these pages, Shani recounts the events that start her on the path to becoming the individual that she is today. Well, it's great to know that even in the future, things still suck. Things have gotten better, but they've also gotten worse. People haven't changed a bit. People are still greedy. People still treat each other badly. So other than that, it's great to know that the future is the same. And this, I gotta say, first of all, this is one of the most, I would say, professionally produced comics I've ever received from my Artist Alley submissions. The art is just fantastic. The production value of it, the coloring is great. Everyone that worked on this book did such a great job producing it. And it has this Caribbean flavor to it. The Sherry, the main character, she speaks with this Caribbean accent, and it comes across well in the story. She's this this badass person, I guess, working for this not the military, for like some secret organization that just keeps order and stuff like that. And she's got her fiance, and they kind of like they have this open relationship, and they're like swingers, and they pick up this girl at a bar, and you know they both share the girl during the thing. It's very adult oriented theme, but you know, not trashy at all. Very well done, a good story. And this girl that they pick up just happens to be a courier who's just supposed to be dropping off this package that these gangsters are trying to track down, and they're hot on this girl's trail, and this is going to involve Shani and her boyfriend in this plot as well. And like it says in the description, what happens shapes the person that she becomes later on. I imagine that there are more stories coming from this. This is I want to say this is a 2021. It says on the book, but I think it's a pretty new book, so there'll be more issues coming from this. And yeah, this like I said, this is very well done. This is like, I don't know what kind of funding is behind this, but my hat's off to the people that can put together a project like this and pull it off so well, because I know it's just not easy to do. And it's nice to share this with the people out there. And I guess that there's where this is available. They didn't leave me a lot of contact as to where it's available. I looked up Beyond Publishing Caribbean, and they've done lots of different books, and they have a Facebook page. I don't do Facebook anymore, so I couldn't get on there, and on Instagram. So they have a lot of sites like that. But I did not see a Beyond Publishing Caribbean, or what you say, Caribbean. I did not see a website per se. So I'll link to the things that they sent as far as they sent me, so you can, people who are on Facebook and who do lots of Instagram, you'll be able to connect with them that way. So maybe you'll be able to pick up this book as far as that goes. And yeah, this I got a digital copy, and it is just fantastic looking. Credit to Nigel Lynch and Juan Carlos Francisco for putting together this great book, along with all the colorists and the inkers and the letterers, and it's just a great looking book. So yeah, that's not much more I can say about this. This is there's a link below to where you can maybe get this book, and probably you should, because it's a good looking indie book. If you're in the indie books, especially in the small press indie books, this is a high. I've seen this. Probably this book could be easily on an Image or a Vault or Boom, excuse me, some big indie label like that. You know, this absolutely looks great. So man, congrats to those folks who are involved with this project. So that's it for this Indie Comics review. I'll be doing more next week, And I'll probably have another Artist Alley next week because they're starting to back up. So thanks for stopping by. Be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button and turn notifications on so you know when I'm making another video. So until next time, I'll see you guys in the funny papers. Hey, don't forget to subscribe and leave a thumbs up.